Shopify or Amazon FBA. They're both proven business models that have made people a lot of money. But like any business, there's some pros and there's some cons you want to consider before getting started. That's why in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of both so I can hopefully help you with your decision and point you in the right direction on which e-commerce business you should start. Hey, what's up everybody? Sam here with Millionaire Mindset, back with another video to help you grow personally and financially. Today I want to talk to you guys about the differences between Shopify and Amazon FBA, which business model I would recommend for you, and it all depends on your situation, your level of risk, your personality type, and kind of what business model you're looking for. So without further ado, I'll jump into the content right away. Let's talk about Shopify Dropshipping first. If you're considering doing print-on-demand with Shopify, these tips will still be relevant to you, but you just have to consider the different business model. So what Shopify Dropshipping is basically sourcing a product from China, usually AliExpress, putting it onto your own unique website and domain name via Shopify, which powers people to come in and make a purchase on your website. They give you the money in advance and you fulfill the order via a platform like Oberlo, which then ships the product. One of the main pros about dropshipping is that it doesn't take a lot of capital to get started. So maybe you don't have thousands of dollars laying around that you're ready to invest. That's why Shopify is really powerful, because it allows you to take the customer's money and then place the order, and that allows you to really reap the rewards of your products without having to do too much upfront investment and upfront due diligence. You can essentially source a product even if you're unsure about it, put it on your store, just see how it does, and that allows you to test a lot of products quickly and easily. So I find this business model to be pretty easy for beginners to understand. They kind of get the point that they are putting a product in front of a group of people, taking the money that they give them for buying the product, and then fulfilling the order on the back end in Oberlo and AliExpress or whatever platform you may be using. And that's why I feel like I would recommend this for anybody who has no experience with e-commerce or business in general, because it's not too hard of a concept to grasp and there's not all that much that goes into it, but there are some cons you want to consider. So one of the main cons is that you don't have a powerful platform like Amazon, which already has a pool of hungry buyers ready to make a purchase. So with Shopify, you're responsible for finding outside traffic and driving that to your store. One of the main cons about Shopify dropshipping is that you have to be willing to test and test and test in order to find those winning products. So it's usually not just going to be a one-time, one-hit wonder for you, and all of a sudden you have this winning offer and this winning product and this winning content that's going to allow you to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. It usually requires a lot of time and a lot of patience, testing out different ad sets, testing out different copy and products in a variety of audiences. So the most common platforms to find traffic is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook ads being the most popular because it allows you to really scale up your budget if you find a winning product and you have a winning ad. And Instagram isn't as scalable because you're working with an influencer and you can't really spam their post and their account too often before people get annoyed and they're not going to want to have anything to do with your brand. So that's one of the main things you want to consider, is that you have a brand in a niche where you're going to have somewhat of a level of interest in, because you're going to need to test out products and test out content and market the products in a different way, and you're going to have to put at least some passion into it. So you can't just throw up a run-of-the-mill brand. And I'm going to tell you guys, I did that myself. I threw up a aquarium, a products brand, so just like different lights and different accessories for people who are into fish and like modifying their aquarium. And after like a couple weeks of trying to find relevant content and relevant products and influencers in that space, it was just becoming a bit difficult, and I was already burnt out. I was like, I don't even own a fish. Don't even like fish that much to begin with. Yeah, they're cool and whatnot, but I'm not going to be trying to build an entire brand around that. So I mean, if you can put that behind, it's all good. I know a lot of people sell categories they're not interested in just because the money's there, but I feel like if you are going to be doing dropshipping, you probably want to have at least some interest in the niche or audience that you're going to be marketing to, because you're going to have to be dedicating a lot of time and effort into generating content and finding products for them. So those are some of the pros and some of the cons about Shopify dropshipping. Now we're going to talk about Amazon FBA, specifically Amazon Private Label. So some of the main pros, like I mentioned before, is that you already are able to come in and build a brand off the back of Amazon, which is the world's biggest company right now, and that allows you to already have a market of hungry buyers who are going to be spending their money on your product, and they're not really too picky about if you're a brand new seller or even the brand name in general. They usually are just looking for price and photos and a good looking listing, high quality offer. So there's not too much that goes into marketing if you really don't want to do it. They have their own marketing service, but I know a lot of people still like to run Facebook ads and Pinterest ads, Instagram ads, stuff like that to drive outside traffic. But a lot of people do primarily Amazon ads, and that's the only thing they do, and it works for them. So if you're not into really the marketing side of things, Amazon FBA can be a really good business for you. So the long-term potential with the Amazon brand is honestly insane, but you can also apply this to Shopify as well. So one of the main pros about e-commerce businesses in general is that if you develop your own audience and your own fan base outside of Amazon, or perhaps with Shopify, if you develop a fan base on social media, you can sell this brand to somebody else for a multiple, which is usually pretty juicy. So if you're making $100,000 in profit on Amazon a year, you can probably expect to get anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000, depending on how good you built your brand outside of Amazon. So that's one of the things I love about Amazon, is that it has a huge long-term potential for people to sell their brands off and maybe start a new business adventure, or they can keep going, keep trying to build their company. But a lot of people are trying to buy e-commerce related brands right now because they see this as the future. So either business model has this opportunity, but I decided to list it with Amazon because that's pretty much what I'm focusing on myself. But Shopify, I know it is possible. I just don't think you get as much as far as a multiple goes, but you still do have the potential to sell your brand long term. So those are both pros for each. Just decided I listed here. One of the other pros about Amazon private label is that I feel like you can sell any old product and not really have to worry about it too much if your heart is in it or not. But it does help because it allows you to really commit to your brand and to commit to your company, because that's what it's going to be in the long term. They're both legitimate businesses, and you have to take them seriously if you really want to see the rewards. I know a lot of people like to market these business models as a get-rich-quick scheme, and that's just simply not the case. They require significant time and effort and patience to really build it from the ground up, but they can be extremely rewarding. So let's talk about the cons of Amazon now. So since you are dealing with Amazon's platform, you can't really drive traffic from Amazon to your website or to your blog or to your company's page without really getting in trouble. So you can do it, but you're going to get in trouble eventually. So a lot of people are playing with fire. They have like a link in their PDF file to direct them to their website, or they have a thank you insert which directs them to their website to sign up for a warranty, or they're using black hat tactics to gain reviews, or they're just doing something that Amazon won't specifically allow, but they're not cracking down on right away. And that's one of the main things that I feel like a lot of people are scared of, is that they don't really have the power and the control of their company like they do with a platform like Shopify, because they have to play with Amazon. Anything that they say goes, and it's just the rules of the game. You do have to do whatever they say. You're kind of like their pet, and I also feel like eventually their long-term goal is to manufacture and supply all the products that are selling well. So I feel like as third-party sellers, we're kind of their guinea pigs as the company. It's just in the beginning stages, and eventually they're going to find their own manufacturers, their own supply chains, and they're going to come in and they might dominate the space. So I'm not sure this opportunity is going to be around forever, but right now there's millions of products where they are not doing that, so it is still a great opportunity. But like I said, that's one of the main cons you want to consider. Another con you want to consider is if you don't want to deal with manufacturing and the logistics side of things. So as a private label seller, you have to contact suppliers, place orders, contact freight forwarders, deal with shipping, and there can be a lot of headache and a lot of trouble that goes into that. But you are able to control how your product looks, so there are some pros with that as well. It is a little bit more expensive to start. So unlike Shopify, where you don't have to have too much money to start, maybe you're spending a little bit on building your store, maybe you're spending a few dollars on ads right away, and you're testing products and you're reaching out to influencers. There's not all that much that goes into it. I know a lot of people say you should have a budget of like $1,000 just because ads can really eat you up right away, and you are going to have to test and test and test until you find that winning product. With Amazon, you're probably looking at $3,000 to $5,000 on the low end, $5,000 to $8,000 kind of being the optimal range to get started, because you have to have money for the second batch of order. You have to have money for launching your product. You have to have money for ads. You have to have money to pay for shipping and all your different software. There's a lot of things that go into becoming an Amazon seller, but it all depends on the product selection with both of these business models. So that's the one thing I would advise, is don't rush into things too much. Take your time to find a product that you think is going to do well, and research the numbers as much as you can. Try to check everything manually. Don't rely on any tools if you don't have to, and that will really allow you to have the best chance for success with both of these two platforms. So in conclusion, I would recommend Shopify for beginners who don't have a lot of money or experience with e-commerce, and Amazon, specifically private label, for those who are a little bit more tolerant to risk and don't mind dealing with suppliers and playing with Amazon by the rules. But both business models are pretty viable still in 2018. I wouldn't recommend one over the other if I had equal time and equal money. If all things were constant, I think I would like to try both. Right now I'm just focusing on Amazon because I did try Shopify and it just wasn't working for me right away. And Amazon seems to be doing well and has a little bit more upside potential as far as a long-term brand. But I am planning on getting back into dropshipping, so expect to see some videos coming soon. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys in today's video. Let me know which business model you guys are going to start in the comments below. If you are considering Amazon FBA, I do have a free group which you can join, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Samuel T. Falk. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Millionaire Mindset. We'll see you in the next video.